the courage to bet on yourself, lessons in faith and self belief. Welcome to the soft girl era, where we celebrate the power that comes from embracing our fullness as Black women who are both soft and strong. Today, I'm sharing insights from my transformative conversation with Kenyatta, a visionary whose work has revolutionized how we think about self belief and personal power. Through his mentorship programs and community initiatives, Kenyatta has empowered thousands of Black professionals to step boldly into their purpose, creating ripples of transformation that have literally changed lives across continents. His ability to inspire others to bet on themselves has created a legacy of courage that continues to expand with each person he touches. Have you ever stood at the edge of a decision that terrified you? That moment when your heart knows what it wants, but your mind keeps calculating all the ways you might fail? We've all been there. That space between certainty and doubt, between staying comfortable and stepping into possibility. What I learned from Kenyatta is that this edge, this uncomfortable boundary, is precisely where our greatest growth happens. It's where we discover what we're truly made of. The truth is, most people will never bet on you as boldly as you can bet on yourself. And why should they? They can't see the vision that keeps you up at night. They can't feel the fire that burns in your chest when you imagine what could be. They can't access the quiet, knowing that whispers, "This is yours to create." During our conversation, Kenyatta emphasized that unwavering self belief isn't just motivational fluff, it's the foundation of every meaningful achievement. When you have complete faith in your vision, even when others cannot see what you see, you develop the courage to pursue your goals despite external doubts or criticism. The moment you decide that your dream is non negotiable, he told me with the conviction that sent chills down my spine, is the moment you begin to move mountains. This isn't about blind optimism, it's about making a sacred commitment to yourself that transcends temporary obstacles. Consider the story of Tabitha Karanja, which Kenyatta shared during our conversation. Here was a woman who dared to challenge Kenya's beer monopoly by founding Karochi Breweries, becoming the first woman to own a major brewing company in East Africa. The audacity. Imagine entering an industry dominated by multinational corporations with seemingly unlimited resources, facing regulatory hurdles designed to keep you out, encountering gender bias as a female entrepreneur in a traditionally male space, and dealing with aggressive competition from established players actively trying to push you out of the market. Most people would look at those odds and walk away, but Karanja, she saw opportunity where others saw impossibility. Instead of being intimidated by the giants in the industry, she identified an underserved market segment and developed products specifically for them. She invested in local production facilities and created beverages that appealed to Kenyan tastes and price points. What began as a small homemade wine operation grew into a major brewery with significant market share. Despite numerous legal battles and tax disputes designed to cripple her business, Karanja persevered and built a state of the art brewing facility. Her company now produces a range of alcoholic beverages, including beer, vodka, and wine. But here's what matters most: Karanja's success opened doors for other women entrepreneurs in East Africa and demonstrated that local businesses could compete effectively against multinational corporations. Her courage to bet on herself created possibilities for countless others. This is what happens when we refuse to shrink our dreams to fit other people's expectations. We don't just transform our own lives, we expand what's possible for everyone around us. Kenyatta also shared the story of Uhuru Kenyatta, former president of Kenya, who built a substantial business empire while facing significant political challenges and public scrutiny. As a member of a prominent political family, Kenyatta faced skepticism about his business acumen and had to overcome perceptions that his success was solely due to family connections. Rather than following calls for nationalization of property, Kenyatta embraced personal entrepreneurial effort. He diversified investments across multiple sectors, including media, banking, tourism, insurance, and agriculture. By 2013, he had built a personal net worth estimated at $500 million, making him one of Kenya's wealthiest citizens. Coming from the legacy of his father, Jomo Kenyatta, Kenya's first president, Uhuru had to establish his own identity while honoring his family's legacy. Despite the advantages of his background, he still needed to prove himself as the capable businessman in his own right. What's remarkable is how he transformed his family's business interests into a modern, diversified portfolio that withstood economic fluctuations and political changes. His business empire now includes more than 500,000 acres of land and ventures across Kenya's most vital economic sectors. But betting on yourself isn't just about business success. Sometimes it's about finding unconventional paths to making an impact, as Kenyatta illustrated through Raila Odinga's story. While known primarily as a political figure, Odinga built substantial business interests in energy and infrastructure by identifying opportunities others overlooked. He had to balance his political career with business ambitions, facing skepticism about conflicts of interest. He also entered highly competitive and capital intensive sectors that required significant technical expertise and investment. Rather than following conventional business paths, Odinga focused on renewable energy and sustainable development, areas that align with both his values and emerging market opportunities. He leveraged his understanding of infrastructure needs to create businesses that address critical national development issues. Coming from a politically prominent family, Odinga could have relied solely on his political career. Instead, he recognized the importance of economic independence and the potential for business to drive social change. His business ventures created jobs while addressing Kenya's energy challenges through sustainable solutions. These stories illuminate a profound truth that Kenyatta emphasized. Betting on yourself often means pursuing unconventional paths that others might not value or understand initially. But here's where Kenyatta's wisdom goes deeper. He shared that resilience through personal tragedy is often what forges our greatest strength. Life's most difficult challenges, like losing loved ones, can become catalysts for transformation when we choose to channel grief into purpose and determination. During our conversation, Kenyatta vulnerably shared his experience of losing both his son and mother, then finding his biological father at age 42. These profound losses and discoveries didn't break him. They became the foundation for his determination to create meaning from pain. This resonates with me deeply as a Black woman. How many of us have had to transform our wounds into wisdom? How many of us have had to find strength in places where we were expected to find only sorrow? As Maya Angelou said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. This is the essence of betting on yourself, refusing to let circumstances define your potential. Kenyatta emphasized that creating something meaningful often requires breaking from conventional paths and establishing your own foundation. Legacy building isn't about following someone else's blueprint. It's about trusting your unique vision enough to create something that will outlast you. So, what does this mean for us, practically speaking? How do we actually bet on ourselves in a world that often tells us to play it safe? First, identify one dream or goal that others have dismissed as unrealistic. You know the one. It makes your heart race when you think about it. But you've been told it's too ambitious, too risky, or not for people like you. Second, take concrete steps toward it within the next 30 days. This might mean creating a business plan, investing in education, or simply declaring your intention publicly. The key is to move from thinking about your vision to actively pursuing it, regardless of external validation. Third, surround yourself with evidence that betting on yourself works. Study the stories of people who defied expectations. Connect with communities that celebrate ambition rather than diminish it. Create an environment that nurtures your courage rather than your fear. Fourth, prepare for resistance, especially as Black women. When we bet on ourselves, we're not just pursuing individual dreams, we're challenging systems designed to limit our possibilities. Your audacity will make some people uncomfortable. Let it. Fifth, remember that betting on yourself isn't a one time decision, it's a daily practice. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the path forward isn't clear, when it seems easier to retreat to safety. In those moments, reconnect with your why. Remember what's at stake. Choose courage again. As Kenyatta so powerfully stated, your dreams aren't just about you, they're about everyone who will be inspired by your courage to pursue their own possibilities. I want to leave you with this: the world doesn't change when we play small. History isn't made by those who wait for permission. Transformation doesn't happen when we silence our boldest dreams. Today, I challenge you to make a declaration. Stand in front of the mirror tonight and say these words: I trust my vision even when others cannot see it. I have the courage to bet on myself when no one else will. My faith in my possibilities is stronger than my fear of failure. I am building a legacy that will outlast me. Then tomorrow morning, take one action, however small, that moves you toward that vision. And the next day, take another and another. Because when we collectively decide to bet on ourselves, we don't just change our individual trajectories, we shift the very fabric of what's possible for our communities, our children, and generations yet unborn. Your courage to bet on yourself might just be the permission slip someone else needs to do the same. Your willingness to step out on faith might be the blueprint someone else has been waiting for. So bet on yourself, not just for you, but for all of us. The world is waiting for what only you can create.